Looks like the electricity company's here. Or the gas.
They're here, look, they're all here now. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then other 2, there were 6.
Why so many numbers today?
Trainees.
That warrant is illegal, and they're basically taking my gas and electric meters off as a vulnerable woman who's got a dependency on a mobility scooter and keeps medication in fridge, and they're cutting me off, breaching Ofgem rules and regulations about cutting vulnerables off.
I'm going to advise you to ring your head office to seek legal advice in this matter. Will you do that now, before you leave?
Mrs. S. Frost.
Mrs. S. Frost?
Yeah.
Right. Ah. It's not a justice at peace then, is it?
She's a what, sorry?
Not a justice at peace. If it's a Mrs., it's not signed by a justice, it's signed by a Mrs. This is the original letter she wrote for the original appointment.
All right, because
they
I know we
turned-
spoke last time.
Yeah.
Apparently, the gentleman who was speaking to her, I don't know if he's left the company now, got maybe, I don't know what's happened.
Yeah.
But apparently, she said he was getting blocked, so I'm assuming
Yeah.
he's not there anymore. So, it might move different departments, I don't know.
Right.
But she said he'd been sending emails through, but obviously she said he'd tried customer service as well, but I don't know. We haven't seen.
Well, she actually made an appointment.
All right, did you?
But nobody ever turned up.
Right, I can apologise.
We're not
We're not SSC, we're just the agent.
So,
Wow, there's so many of you today. How are you all doing?
All right, thank you.
Wow, I've never seen so many. Why so many numbers today?
Trainees
Trainees.
and British Gas to SSE's gas work.
Brilliant. So no doubt we'll be seeing each other again sometime.
Probably so, yeah.
Should I give you my number next time you're on a job? Just give us a call, give me an heads up. Because you're going to see me there anyway. Give me a chance to charge my batteries.
What do you do with video?
It's public interest, really. You know, massive concern about what's going on in the gas and electricity industry. I know how they obtain warrants. Because I don't know if you're aware of the legislation. The judge has to see in writing your applications, and they can't be misled. So currently investigations going on. So you're part of the investigation, unfortunately. But you're just doing your job, I suppose.
Yeah.
Anyway, good luck to you. Nice to meet you all.
Yeah,
You too.
You'll find a lot of these people are very peaceful, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you will find that. Yeah, the police, when they turn up, that's when things go sour. So be careful when the police are around.
I don't know, never looked into it.
That's different. Is that your work bag?
Yes.
Or is that your picnic, your sandwich for everybody else that's here? Are you on training today?
I am, yes.
So is this your first day?
No.
How many days have you done?
Well, it's complicated, really, to be honest with you. It's a long process, to be honest.
I'd like to get a job for Seeker. How do I apply?
I don't know. I don't work for Seeker.
You've got a Seeker.
I work on behalf of...
You got a Seeker.
Good morning. Are you all right?
You got a Seeker
Thank you.
logo on.
It's all right, it's for Mark, this.
Hello there.
This is from Amanda. This is, you do need,
Yeah.
so that is a very new thing, actually, because I think they changed it because all the laws, you know, I mean, they were written years ago when there only was writing and signatures, and they changed it to electronic, but this King's Bench thing, they've changed it back to having a signature. I think that
Yeah, I was just saying, you've
summarises
got a Seeker badge on. How come, if you don't work for Seeker, what?
Work on behalf of...
All right, so you're subcontracted today.
Hey, Matt.
How are you doing? You all right?
Got a question, or a couple of questions they could ask.
Where was the warrant issued? Which court? Oh yeah, which court?
You'd need to speak to the warrant officer.
The warrant officer. And what is the name of the Justice of the Peace who signed it?
It hasn't been signed.
Who's the warrant officer? Perhaps you could just point me out.
Thank you.
Who's the warrant officer?
Can I,
Oh, hello there. Yeah. Where was the warrant issued? Which court?
It's all right, mate. It's all
right.
It's an independent report.
Yeah, I'm just investigating the
Alright, well, it's already
warrants.
sorted, obviously.
Brilliant.
Also, to be friendly with customers, so we can sort it with her.
Yeah, you've always been good with me, and I've been
Yeah.
good with you, and I'm sure we'll keep it that way.
So I can't ask you all your questions.
Well, what is the name of the Justice of the Peace who signed it then?
Don't know.
You don't know? You should know these things. He's not on the warrant.
I'll have a look at warrant in a minute.
You're
But
independent.
Oh,
we're
right.
anyway,
So
so
Yeah, yeah.
Customers' data, so we can't be telling you stuff like that anyway. Can
Yeah,
we?
but the Justice of the Peace, you know, they're actually publicly paid for, aren't they? So we could have the name, couldn't we?
Yeah, you can always apply to the court and get that information. But obviously,
I'll tell you what I'll do.
We're not liable to get that information out.
I'll get the occupant to ask you them questions himself. How's
Well,
that?
we're sorting it out anyway. We're not coming in peaks, so we're not coming to argue with anybody. So.
No. There's a big interest in this, you know, quite a massive
Yeah, no, I've
interest.
seen your video channel. Missed some bits off though from some of them.
Really? What bits?
The bits when she told my family to die of cancer and stuff like that, which weren't very appreciated.
Oh, I don't know.
Which is not very nice.
I didn't
understand
actually.
everyone.
Can I just say?
Everyone had their own opinions and doing stuff, but
Yeah, can I just say what you've just said there? I wasn't party to that. I didn't hear that, so that's hearsay to me.
Well, we're saying that it's not very. You know what I mean? It's not very nice when you're coming up. I understand everybody's got their own views, but it's not a very nice thing to come across, is it?
Well, I find it odd to believe that someone might have said that. However, I wasn't there.
Yeah, no problem, pal.
All right, I'll leave it with you.
Right, cheers, thank you very much. Have a good day.
Yeah, take that, man.
Thanks.
Can I just ask you 2 questions out of a matter of interest? Where was the warrant issued? Which
Peterborough
court?
Magistrates Court.
Peterborough.
Yeah.
That's out of jurisdiction then. What is the name of the Justice of the Peace that signed it?
He'll get it for you now. They can have pictures of it anyway if they want a picture, can't they, then?
You can get from court.
Mrs. S. Frost.
Mrs. S. Frost.
Yeah.
Right. It's not a Justice at Peace then, is it?
She's a what, sorry?
Not a Justice at Peace. If it's a Mrs., it's not signed by a Justice, it's signed by a Mrs.
No, it's just sort of the name what's on there, isn't it?
But it's not a Justice if it's a Mrs.
Does it say date due before or court? This might
I
have
mean,
seen
it
before.
don't matter to the job anyway, but it was a matter of interest.
Are we all
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, Peterborough Court.
John?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you manage to ask the questions by any chance?
Pardon?
Did you manage to ask the questions by any chance?
Yeah.
Was there any replies?
Yes.
What was the replies?
Mrs. S. Frost signed it, and it's from Peterborough.
Yeah. What's removed?
Only 2 are allowed in.
We're not going in. We don't
One
have
to
to
do
go
it
in.
electric, one to do it gas.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah. We'll do that first.
Anxiety and panic.
All right, love.
And you know you're not allowed to do this till after end of March. Ofgem rules and regulations, leaving a vulnerable we are. Well, that's fine. I'll see you all in court for that fraudulent warrant that you've got that's not got any signature on it whatsoever. Court ruling, King's Bench, December the 22nd. It's an illegal warrant. Come on,
Who
Bill.
wants to go in first, gas or
We'll go do
electric?
gas first, all right.
All right.
Leave my meters on the floor. Your meters are there.
Thank you.
Take them back with you. You're from British Gas. What are you doing here?
I work on door for SSE.
SSE doesn't exist as of 14th of May 2018. They do not exist.
Don't
so
you not
you're
around there all the
committing
time?
fraud.
Just take the picture, please, John.
Yeah, I'm going to get it.
Don't let them take my meter bill.
No, we're not taking it.
You can take your property. Once you've took all your stuff, all contracts are severed. What you believe you think you have, and we have nothing to do. Don't call at my door again, ever. So you've got them names, Bill, yeah? Thank you. I'll be contacting that court, and then I'll also be laying a claim to court against this company. All that new stuff that just come out here. And can I have your names as well, gentlemen, please?
Yeah,
You've got
Paul.
mine. Pardon?
Paul.
Paul what?
Don't need to a second name. I'll give you the first name, but being polite, it's Paul.
What's your name?
Mine's John. My ID's 350.
Hold on, let me just get a pen.
Okay?
Yeah.
You can have it now. I'm going to leave you now at 4, all right?
And who do you work for? British Gas?
I do, yes. Yeah.
£3.50 my ID.
And what's yours, Doug?
Paul.
Paul. And you work for SSE?
Seeker.
Have you got an ID number?
I have. It's 17371.
17371. Where's Dog? Minnie's not got out.
No, she won't come out. Won't come out this way.
What's going through your mind right now?
They're committing fraud against me. There's 2 men turned up to my property as a vulnerable. They know I'm a vulnerable because you can see my ramp for my mobility scooter. They're saying to me, we need to come in, but we'll give you an option, or we can either put your prepayment meters on or cut you off. So I refuse prepayment meters because they're not allowed to put prepayment meters on the property of a vulnerable, which I did explain to them. When they came and when they were going to start doing it, they said, go and switch all your electric off because they didn't want to be filmed. I never even clicked. I've got Raynaud's, I've only got 1 kidney, suffer with incontinence. So by leaving me without hot water, I can't wash. That's unsanitary. Everybody's name, and can you take registration plates as well, Dawn? Thank you. Yeah, I've turned that
It's,
out.
no, I've got an ID number. It's 20792.
Computer, because that's got on it.
You know where your consumer unit is? Your main fuse box, that needs to be turned off before you can.
This one?
Yeah. That's the one, just the main switch.
No, switch that off. No, it's not.
He's going to switch it off, he's going to put his gear on, switch it off.
He's stolen and he bought me.
Yeah, he's not there
It's
anymore.
customer services, normal customer services then.
Well, I'm not a customer, so it's their private number. After this, you know, like, no coming back to it. Has it actually got a wet ink signature on it?
No, it's digital, I don't know wet ink signatures.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's
The ones
illegal.
that you get, not yet.
I've shown you the case number.
Would it not be easier if you fetched a hard copy for the occupants to give to them?
They used to do that, we used to prefer it, but.
I mean, if for future reference.
Just one phone call, just wouldn't it? Although though, you just only
Well,
call
they
you
don't
out.
care when they're affecting vulnerables, they don't care about it.
These are resident places for it.
Yeah, this is twice they've done it in a year
The
now.
only one, I said to him, oh thank you, I said you're the only one that's prepared to give me full name.
Yeah, at least he's a
I don't know where he's from.
Can you see what he's doing?
And apparently you're
busy.
and I had an argument with him because I said she was supposed to pay.
Sorry to interrupt you, is everything called off? We can turn the electric off, alright?
You switched it off?
No, we haven't turned it off yet, no, I was just
No,
making sure you.
I've turned all my stuff off.
No, if I switch the power off, thank you.
That's why I've got that. Hang the traitors, because all traitors will be getting hung.
Well,
That's a penalty for treason.
When they finish using them all, they'll come from
Yeah.
them, just like they did all NHS.
Well, they ain't got them. Yeah, exactly. Well, I had 2 men from gas and electric turn up to my property, said they want to do a health and safety check. They've got a warrant. Well, I showed them a document which the warrant needs a signature. They said it didn't have a signature, and then all of a sudden they said it did. And knowing that a warrant hasn't got a signature under the King's Bench ruling, that warrant is illegal. And they're basically taking my gas and electric meters off as a vulnerable woman who's got a dependency on a mobility scooter and keeps medication in fridge, and they're cutting me off, breaching Ofgem rules and regulations about cutting vulnerables off. So now at the moment they've took the gas meter out already, leaving me without heat, knowing I suffer Raynaud's, which is affected by the cold. And also I've got cancer, and now they're just removing the electric meter, meaning I can't charge my mobility scooter up, which I am dependent upon. But they don't seem to be bothered. The only thing they seem to be interested in is getting paid tonight.
Yeah.
The Bill's got the name of the judge wrote down, and apparently it were at Peterborough Court, which is actually out of the jurisdiction. They would have had to gone to Sheffield Court to be in jurisdiction and it'd be lawful. But their warrant is actually illegal because of the King's Bench. A judge made a decision in December 2022 that any warrant that doesn't have a signature is illegal. So what they're actually doing now is illegal. And I'll be able to sue them for what they're doing because I am a vulnerable. I'm clinically vulnerable.
Are they going to leave you with any electric or gas at all today?
No, I'm not going to have any electric or gas whatsoever, so I won't be able to get out. I'm now going to be isolated in my home because I can't get my mobility scooter charged up. So they've just took me independence away from me, causing me harm and loss.
Just to advise you, the lady's telling me that she's vulnerable and you're taking her electricity away and the gas. Did you hear what she was saying?
I explained to them, I've shown them everything.
What about yourself, sir? Are you aware of that?
Vulnerable?
That she's vulnerable?
Yeah, we give the lady options to keep electricity on, but the lady had the option to...
You want to put a prepayment meter on, and if it's cold, I cannot get out of my property because of Reynolds.
So now you've been informed of that, what's your plan of action now?
We've given the lady the option, and that's what he's asked us to do, remove it, so that's what we're removing for her.
And she's reasonably explained the problem with the payment meter. So what's your plan of action now?
Well, we're explaining it to the lady, that's her.
Is that your final answer?
Said, yeah.
I give you permission to talk on my behalf as well, Mark. Thank you. So you've got my permission, and at the end of the day, if you want to ask them any questions, you ask them, Chick. You have my authority, like Bill, to talk on my behalf.
Alright, thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, the occupier, the lady's just given me authorisation to speak on her behalf. Did you hear what she said? Do you need to repeat that again?
No, I have no questions, mate. I've already spoke to that lady, that's it.
Well, the lady would like to know how she's going to get to charge her electricity.
I've already explained that to the lady, so I'm not answering any more questions, I'm sorry.
You've explained that already?
Yeah.
So, my advice to you would be to make sure that she's got electricity and gas before you leave. That's your responsibility now. You've been advised she's a vulnerable lady. I'm going to advise you to ring your head office to seek legal advice in this matter. Will you do that now, before you leave?
Not staying on that, don't touch that.
Are you not concerned about her welfare and well-being? Paul, I just want to say nothing about this is personal. It's all about the system.
Yeah, no.
It's all about the system.
Personal, I'm saying it's not personal. That's all. I've already spoke to the lady, spoke to her representative. That's all it is. It's no personal view. So.
Anyway, thanks for your
Thank you very much.
professionalism to a certain degree.
That's as nice as it's going to get.
That's just my opinion. I'll leave that with you. I'll leave it.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye bye.
Take care. Have a good day.
Basically what's happened is, this morning we got a phone call from Amanda saying got a seeker at the door for gas and electric. They were supposed to have made an appointment, they didn't. Amanda made an appointment with them, I believe, for January, and they never turned up. So they've turned up today uninvited with a so-called warrant for entry to fake gas and electric meters, which are smart and prepay. She said right from the beginning she didn't want them. I've spoke to the lads from Seeker. They were quite reasonable. They said to me that that's what they've been instructed to come and fit, these so-called smart meters. So I said she's already got her own meters. The meters that they proposed to own or rent were in bags and boxes, and they could pick them up and take them. I invited them to come and take the tails, which are the two cables between the meter and the fuse, and the main fuse, which generally goes with the electric meter. They phoned their superiors, had a word with them, they said yeah, that's fine. So that's what they've done. They've took the main fuse from the electric meter, the two cables that join the fuse and the electric meter, and they've disconnected the main pipe from the gas meter and capped it. Basically what they've done by taking their meters and their pieces of cable is they've broken the contract from SSE's end. So now they've got no call, they've got no reason to come round to Amanda's anymore. She's no longer in contract with them. They've got absolutely no reason to be there. So that's it. They've taken the stuff and gone.
So they offered her prepayment meters. I do believe she's a vulnerable lady, and if it's ever snowing and she needs electricity or gas topping up.
Well, yeah, Ofgem said between October and March the 31st that none of the energy companies are allowed to disconnect gas or electric for vulnerable people because they're vulnerable. Amanda is vulnerable. She needs a mobility scooter and she got medications in the fridge, and basically she's got a touch of cancer and whatnot, and makes her vulnerable, I'd say. So
Amanda actually brought this to their attention, and I brought it to their attention as well, and I did ask them. How do you feel about the response towards her vulnerability? Do you think they could have done more to help her in the situation?
They actually offered to fit these prepaid meters, the so-called smart meters, because the reason they come is they were saying that the old meters that they fitted not all that long ago were buzzing at their end. In other words, they were switched off. So they come to replace them, and what their offer was, if we replace your meters and you do the done thing by getting in touch with another energy company and decide to go with someone else, or whichever way you want to do it, you can come and ask us to take those meters back out, and we will do. But I said, just take your meters and go. She's already got her own. That's it, end of story.
And there's no obligation to have prepayment meters fitted, is there?
No, none at all. It's not a legal requirement, shall we say.